Hey BBN. Jasper Johnson is going to help recruit Caleb Wilson? That would be huge, and with Pope's reinforcement, this guy could already be on this team. Did you hear the news? Subscribe to the channel to receive more news from the Cats. Kentucky seems to be preparing for a season that is not only exciting, but also full of expectations, both on and off the court. One of the most recent pieces of news that has the Wildcats community buzzing comes directly from Atlanta, where Jasper Johnson, one of the 15 best recruits in the 2025 class, has just signed with the team during the early recruiting period. Already quite familiar to Kentucky fans, Johnson not only impresses with his offensive talent, but has also stood out on the court with impactful plays, such as the dunk that, according to experts, could be one of the most incredible of the year. What makes Johnson even more interesting is the fact that he's not just focusing on his own development, but also trying to build a recruiting class that would put Kentucky back among the elite of college basketball. His mission: bringing Caleb Wilson, one of the biggest names still available in the 2025 class, to UK. Wilson, who possesses an impressive combination of skills, including great scoring, blocking, and rebounding, has already become a household name among Kentucky fans. With a skill set that can transform any team, he's become one of the most coveted targets to round out the Wildcats class. After canceling a visit to Arkansas and announcing his top 5, Wilson is on the verge of making a decision, which is expected to be made sometime between December and January. And as far as Jasper Johnson is concerned, that decision is all but made in Kentucky's favor. In a recent interview, Johnson was full of praise for Wilson, highlighting how he would be a crucial addition to Mark Pope's team. "We've been pushing hard for him. I know he's a dominant force at the 4, can score the ball, block shots, rebound. He can do it all," Johnson said. The word danger, which Pope used to describe Johnson's game, seems to fit Wilson's description as well, as his presence on the court would completely change the Wildcats' style of play. If Mark Pope and his coaching staff are able to land Wilson, it would not only bolster an already strong recruiting class, but it would also put the Wildcats program back on top, competing with the top college basketball programs in the country. While Wilson's decision is still up in the air, the proximity of his pick date and the pressure Johnson has exerted indicate that Kentucky is in an advantageous position to secure a commitment from the recruit. With so much movement, the question is, what can we expect from Kentucky in the near future? With Johnson already excelling and the possibility of having Wilson alongside him next season, Mark Pope's team could be about to take a major step towards regaining its former glory. Kentucky's recruiting class would become one of the most competitive and promising, and this would undoubtedly bring an extra dose of excitement to the team's fans, known as BBN, who are already eagerly awaiting the new additions to the roster. It remains to be seen whether the successful formula that begins with recruits like Jasper Johnson and Caleb Wilson will be able to transform the Wildcats team. What do you think? Let's go! The Kentucky Wildcats are back on top of the league, and one of the biggest surprises so far has been the impact of Brea, a former Dayton player who came to Lexington looking to make history. His three-point shooting ability, one of the best in college basketball, has been a key factor in Kentucky's offense breaking records and setting new standards for offensive efficiency. Through the first 4 games of the season, Brea has been an incredible performer on the court, shooting an impressive 78.9% from 3. With 15 of 19 attempts, he's not only dominating opponents, but he's also putting the team in a position to stand out among the best offenses the program has ever seen. To give you an idea of the magnitude of this feat, as Corey Price of UK Sports Network points out, that's more than the Wildcats' leading free throw shooter in 10 of the last 26 seasons. That number alone is a clear indication of the strength Brea brings to the team. But Brea isn't just an efficient shooter, he's a true phenomenon. His nuclear shot from long range is helping Kentucky redefine its own history. The team has already shown itself capable of scoring 97-plus points in 3 of the first 4 games of a season, something that hadn't happened since the historic 1970-71 campaign. And of course, that success is largely due to Brea, who brings with him not only an outside shooting ability, but also the ability to elevate Kentucky's entire offense. While names like Jackson Robinson and Otega Owa have also excelled, it's Brea who's been making the difference consistently and over the long term. His style of play and court vision fit perfectly into Kentucky's offensive system, where he's able to create space for himself and his teammates with his constant threat on the perimeter. For opponents, there's no room for rest. Brea's shooting is a constant that makes opposing defenses nearly unassailable. His arrival was eagerly anticipated, especially since Brea was one of the top 3-point shooters in the country while playing for Dayton. And luckily for Kentucky, he's brought that talent with him to Rupp Arena, where he's increasingly felt at home. The skill he displays, which was honed in a highly competitive program, now has a chance to blossom in one of college basketball's greatest traditions. And, in fact, there's a reason why so many elite college basketball programs were after Brea before his decision to transfer to Kentucky. What the Wildcats offer, however, seems to be the perfect environment for him. With a structure honed by Mark Pope and a talented roster at his side, Brea has the tools to shine in a big way. The big question now is, how far can this Kentucky team, fueled by Brea and his lethal 3-point attack, go? If the start of the season is any indication, it seems like the Wildcats are just beginning to show how dangerous they can be. With the introduction of Brea, the team is not only making a name for itself on the college basketball scene, but it is also beginning to write its own history, setting a new standard of excellence for the program. And for Kentucky fans, there is no doubt that with Brea, the Wildcats' future looks brighter than ever. What do you think? Leave your comments.